Hey friend, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com. Welcome back to the 1 hour mix series. We're doing a 6-part series here on mixing an entire song in front of you in 1 hour. So 60 minutes of actual mixing, and I'm breaking this up into 10-minute chunks. So if you watched last week's video, we just used the volume faders and the pan knob to get a rough mix. And it's as simple as it could be, but probably the most important thing we could have done, and yet so many people breeze past it. So if you haven't watched last week's video, go watch it. You'll get a little bit more context for why I'm doing this, explaining sort of how Parkinson's law can help you get better sounding mixes in less time, and then how this series is going to go down. Today, I'm going to do another 10 minutes. I'm literally opening up the session from where we left off, and I'm going to mix from here, and I'm going to focus on the mix bus. So today's all about the mix bus. And something I didn't mention last week, but I'm going to mention now that we're starting to get into plugins, is I'm going to do this whole mix with just stock and or free plugins. So nothing that costs money. So if you already have in DAW with basic plugins, you can do this. And some of the plugins that I would like to use that Pro Tools maybe doesn't have, I'm grabbing free versions of, but it's mostly all stock stuff. Just again to prove the point that it's not the tools you use, it's the way you use them and your philosophy of mixing. That's why I talk a lot about philosophy of mixing, not because I want to bore you to death, but because I want you to get better mixes. So today we're going to focus on the mix bus. Why the mix bus? Because you can hack yourself to get a big win early on, which is a psychological boost. Most of mixing is less than satisfying. You do a little bit of a tweak here, a little bit of a tweak there. Everything should be subtle, and it's all these subtleties that add up to big changes, but it's not very satisfying. So it's a bit of a letdown. And so what I like to do is early on, after I've gotten a rough mix, is focus on the mix bus, because if you do a little change on the mix bus, it affects the whole mix. And so you get a bigger result. Now, you don't want to do drastic moves on the mix bus, and you'll see what I'm going to do in a second. But the reason I start with this is because I can impact my mix in a huge way very quickly, very early on, which gives me a psychological boost where I'm feeling good about myself, good about the mix, and confidence is your best friend when it comes to mixing. If you don't have confidence, your mix is going to turn out like poo. All right, so now that we've said that, let's move on. I'm going to hit the timer, again, 10 minutes. I'm just going to mix. So just watch what I'm doing, listen to what I'm doing, and once the timer hits 10 minutes and we're done, I'll briefly spend about 60 seconds explaining the why of what I did so you can, again, get a little bit of insight into my head. Ready? Here we go. You know what? Let's grab a different one that has an output that I can adjust. If you are a Pro Tools user or if you have an iLok, this is a free, amazing saturation plugin. Absolutely free. So yeah, let's go before and after now. Still a hair louder after the plugins. I mean, this is real picky. I really, if you're watching, I'm really trying to make sure I'm not making the mix louder. I just want to affect the tone and the vibe of the mix. Listen to another part of this song. Where's the guitar solo? And then let's listen to a verse.
Take me in and clean me up. Show me again your love will not dry up. Though I put you to shame, you still call me by name.
There we have it. 10 minutes on the mix bus, building off of what we did last week, and hopefully those last couple minutes you were hearing the payoff, and that's a huge part of it, is am I even helping? I have to bypass what I've done to see if I'm even helping the mix. And so real quick 60-second recap. You saw the first thing I did was grab an EQ, because little teeny moves in EQ on the mix bus have a huge impact. And for years, I've done this on the mix bus towards the end of a mix. And, lately I've been fiddling with it by starting at the beginning of the mix, going ahead and sculpting just a smidge, right? Just pulling out, I pulled out 469, which is a lot of that sort of woofiness, a lot of the nasally sound on the drums, some of the woofiness on the guitars. A lot of different frequencies jumped out as nasty when I boosted that, and I felt like universally the mix could benefit from taking out 2 dB of that, which is the biggest EQ move I did, was 2 dB, and that was relatively big. A little bit of a high-pass filter with a real gentle slope at 20 hertz, which means most of the low end is still coming in, but it just gently rolls off a bit of the low sub stuff, which I don't normally hear, and our speakers and headphones don't really let us hear it, but you feel it. When you remove that energy from the mix, it allows the speakers or the headphones to focus more of their energy on displaying the upper frequencies in the mid. So it actually makes your mids become a little more present just for the sake of killing some of that energy being hogged by the low end. So that's less of a drastic change, but it does help the top mid clarity come through. A little bit of a bump at around 68. I can't read my screen that far away, which I just felt like gave it a little bit of weight to the song. A little bit of a top shelf around 6K at 1/2 dB. That just sort of opened up the air on the mix a little bit. And just a slight 1/2 dB boost at 2.6K. That sounded good on his voice, on Keelan's voice. It didn't sound good on everything else. So just a little bit of a presence boost there, 1/2 dB. And so again, I was sort of watching the output to make sure I wasn't turning the mix up with the EQ. And once I adjusted the cut here, it actually was perfectly balanced. So slight adjustments on the EQ. The compression, I was just doing my classic mix bus compression. You want to have a slow attack, 10 milliseconds or slower, faster release. I use a 2-to-1 ratio because it's a very gentle song. And I was looking at the threshold, just looking for 1 to 1.5 dB of gain reduction on the big hits, the snare hits, and then just try to compensate by bringing up the volume to compensate, make sure my output was pretty close to what my input was. And that gave a little bit more weight in the bass and the kick and the snare and a little more energy in the guitars. And then I used some saturation. There's a lot of plugins that could do this. This one's a free one called Revival from Slate Digital. You can get it for free if you just download his VMR, which is just a demo. So you don't even have to pay for this. You can use it forever. And it just has 2 knobs. And I just added a little bit of the top end shimmer. This is like a harmonic exciter also. So it's adding harmonics that aren't there. It's different than an EQ boost. Add a little bit of top end, a little bit of thickness. I don't know what those do, but they add shimmer and thickness. But that's adding volume and gain. So I had to add a trimmer tool just to turn that down a little bit. And all that did was just take my mix from flat to just having a little bit of life, to the point where I'm like, oh, the vocals became a little more present. The shaker and the acoustic guitars became a little more present. The mix cleared up a bit. Once you take out 2 dB of 400, 500 on a whole mix, it clears up the mix entirely. So a lot of the sweetness of the other instruments came through. Those are just 3 things I did with stock and free plugins on the mix bus that now I'm ready to move on to the rest of my mix. So next week, we're going to look at EQ. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to really start to try to clear up this mix. It's going to be one of my 2 big power moves that will make a huge impact on this mix using EQ strategically. Again, 1 hour mix. We're going to do this whole mix in 60 minutes total. Again, I'm not going to touch this till the next video. I'm going to leave it right where it is. Subscribe to the videos if you like them. Join my mailing list to get the Smart Start to Mixing Guide, which will give you sort of a leg up on this. What did I do before I grabbed any volume faders? Gain staging, setting your mix up for sonic success in the digital world. It's a free video. It's all there for you. You got to join the mailing list to get it, and you get a bunch of other free goodies that I don't put anywhere else. And share the videos if they're helpful. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. And I would really recommend you follow along on your own song. Grab a song you haven't mixed in a long time or a brand new song and follow along the exercise purely for the sake of learning how to go for the big wins, hacking Parkinson's Law to give you better mixes in less time. That's it for today. I'll see you next week.